what you were
What if
saying.
your dreams were more than just dreams? What if a fleeting moment of déjà vu or a strange orb caught on camera wasn't simply your imagination, but instead a glimpse into another realm? Throughout ancient spiritual traditions, mystics have described a hidden architecture of reality, layers of existence known as the planes of consciousness. These aren't outer worlds you visit in a spaceship. They are inner realms, accessed through awareness, meditation, and even deep emotion. Let's begin at the base, the physical plane. This is the world we know: flesh, gravity, and time. A world of bills, bruises, and biology. The realm of the senses. But just above it, interwoven with it, is the etheric plane. Here, everything pulses with subtle energy: prana, chi, life force. Healers and energy workers describe this plane as a glowing blueprint behind the body. Then comes the astral plane, the dream world. Not dreams in the Freudian sense, but a dimension of emotion and imagination, shaped by thoughts and symbols. This is where lucid dreamers explore, where orbs, light beings, and guides are said to dwell. Beyond that is the mental plane. Some describe it as divided into lower and higher levels. The lower mental level is logic and analysis. The higher is intuition, where we catch flashes of insight or divine inspiration. And further still, the causal plane. This is the realm of the soul. Karma, memory, destiny, they all resonate here. It is said to hold the deep patterns of our incarnations, the blueprint of who we are across lifetimes. Above the causal plane, things become radiant. The Buddhic plane, where the ego dissolves, and the boundaries between self and other fade away. Some call it the realm of universal compassion. Others call it love beyond reason. Then, the Atmic plane. The realm of spirit. Not a spirit. Not your spirit. Spirit itself. Here, all individual identity thins out into a vast sense of purpose, like a drop rejoining the ocean. And beyond that, well, some call it the divine, the monadic, the Godhead. A realm so subtle, so still, it can only be pointed to in silence. But are these just metaphors, poetic ways to describe altered states? Or are they real? Mainstream science doesn't endorse these planes. But something interesting is happening. Neuroscientists studying meditation, psychedelics, and mystical experience have found that certain regions of the brain light up or go quiet when people report these profound states. In deep meditation, the part of your brain that defines your body's location turns off. The area responsible for focus lights up. People say they feel timeless, egoless, connected to everything. That's not proof of a spiritual plane, but it is evidence of something real happening in consciousness, something measurable, reproducible, and deeply meaningful. And sometimes things get even stranger. Take the case of Chris Bledsoe and his daughter. Known for their encounters with glowing orbs and spiritual entities, they were filmed during one such experience. Brain scans showed their activity patterns syncing, not just with each other, but with a neutral observer standing nearby. Could this be a shared mental state? Or a moment of resonance, of multiple minds tuning into the same frequency? Esoteric traditions have long described this kind of group attunement, especially on the astral and mental planes. When consciousness aligns, it's said, the veil thins. Science doesn't confirm these other planes, but it's starting to ask the same questions. What is the mind? Where does consciousness go in dreams, in meditation, in death? So maybe the real mystery isn't the question whether the planes exist. Perhaps it is that we are only now developing the tools to measure what mystics have whispered about for millennia. The next time you close your eyes, feel yourself falling inward. Listen to the silence between your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this still the physical world? Or have I begun to cross into another plane?
The truth is out there, and it begins with you. Welcome to the Cosmic Fold, where we talk high strangeness. Call us at 928-288-2942. That's 928-288-2942. Or join us by video. If you're at a computer, just look for the link in the chat. Buckle up, sit around our virtual campfire, and let's get started.
Hey gang, how you doing?
Oh, good. How are you?
Just kind of discombobulated today. I feel like I'm scattered all over the universe. I don't know if you ever feel that way.
Today, Deborah?
Yes.
Today?
Yeah, what time zone am I in? But otherwise, really good. We've got monsoons coming in, which we need the rain so desperately, so it's good.
It is good. Does it cool it down too?
What's that look, Helen? You don't know what monsoons are?
Oh, I know what a monsoon
Yes,
is. But
cooled it down like 20 degrees.
I know you lived in Southeast Asia. I'm like, what?
I know,
didn't
it's a
realize
weird.
you had a monsoon season.
Yeah.
Does
Arizona and New Mexico, and we kind of rely on them. So
yeah. I know it's a weird word. I was thrown by it at first too. A long time ago when I heard it.
Super saturate the ground and you have flash flooding and that kind of thing, or?
Well, there's something that's called aridification, which is something that's been studied quite a bit. And the drier it gets, the soil gets so dry that it can't handle water coming down.
Yeah.
So it starts flooding. Then you add on top of that, like in Rio Deso last week, I think, where that horrible flood was, where all these forest fires have gone, it leaves these deep scars, and then water goes through that too. So you have aridification, forest fires. The Texas situation, I think some of that had some aridification to it, because the drought monitor has been warning about this for like the last year, to watch out for bad floods because of that. Plus, they had a lot of water come down at once. So,
that's
but
the
I was
new thing.
listening to.
Yeah, that's part of the whole climate change thing too. Yeah,
it is. I was listening to Whitley Strieber. He's got a YouTube thing, and he grew up in that area. I didn't know that, and he said that in their areas, the people would call and say, "Oh, look out, it's going to flood," but he said it never went that high like it did with this one.
Right,
and this was beyond 100-year floodplain stuff. This was so much water at once. But I had forgotten it. I had totally forgotten it.
Sorry, that's the new standard, though. I mean, I think people don't realize that's been predicted as climate change models. I mean,
that's how it's going to be.
That's going to be how it is, because as the Earth's atmosphere warms up, more moisture goes into the clouds. And so then when it comes down, it's a way heavier and a lot more rain. And that's part of the cycle. And unless we change climate change, that's going to continue happening. It's just going to get worse,
Well, he was talking on the show, and I'd completely forgotten about that book that he and Art Bell wrote about the big coming superstorm.
Oh,
and that was published in 1999. You remember how everybody was making fun of them? And he was talking about these huge...
They make a movie?
I think that movie, what was that? Was based on that. Yeah. And
keep it in. Oh, well, hi.
Oh, that's Bove. Let me put the thing in there for you again. I'm going to paste the invite, and then Bove, you could just click the thing. Just a second.
To answer Cece's question about the astrological signature, the thing I started thinking about as climate change started to emerge into this first century, like this 21st century, is we found all of these different bodies out in the Kuiper belt that all have really scary and kind of bad mythological implications.
Yeah.
So I think that there's sort of the warning astrologically about this period that's really dangerous for humanity. And that's, so yes, in a bigger sense, yeah. Bill Nye made a movie too. Okay.
Well, wouldn't you say, Denise, that sometimes it's a little hard to know chicken or the egg, that often you look at the astrology and you see things don't look great, but what are the specifics? You go back and look at what is recent past, and you go, oh, that explains what I've been looking at, right?
Yeah, I think it's also with this. Oh, hey, Bove. Yeah, it's air conditioning. You can hear that.
It's
Hey,
yeah,
Bove.
I'm going to mute you both because your air conditioner's so loud.
Yeah. Oh, so make sure unmute yourself if you want to talk. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
love
to
you.
talk to speak or unmute yourself, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, so
I mean,
this conscious thing. Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
no, I was
Train of
going to
thought
say
there.
to talk about the astrology piece, you can see bad periods of time coming, but how they manifest will depend on a lot of different aspects. Like, in 2008, somebody asked me about the Nifty stock market. On my blog, and I looked forward and I'm like, they were asking, and I don't know why, but I picked 2019, 2020 as a period where just looking at the whole configuration of planets in Capricorn, that there was going to be some kind of natural disaster that would shut down the economies of the world, that would cause this huge, crisis. That was
Yeah.
COVID, right? But did I say it was specifically going to be a virus?
No.
I didn't know what it was. I just knew something was going to shut everything down and cause this huge change to occur. So you don't always know exactly what you're looking at.
What you're looking at,
and see
yeah.
the manifest. I mean, and the Capricorn thing is all about, career and finance and the world economy and banking and all those other things. So really the COVID thing for everybody kind of isolated them, which is a Capricorn thing, disrupted their careers, their work. It had all that effect, but it was a virus that did that. It wasn't, it was a natural disaster of some kind, but it wasn't like a giant earthquake.
Yeah.
Right.
When you say natural disaster, people's minds, I think it's fair to say, usually go to things like earthquakes and volcanoes and tornadoes.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Later today, if you
invisible bugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Denise, if you're up to it a little later today, I have a couple astrology questions for you that are kind of off topic, but some people have asked me about some things, and I thought, well, who better to ask than Denise on these things? So,
Sure.
Anyway, welcome back, both. We've missed you.
Yeah. Hey.
And but anyway, okay. So has everyone been doing their Denise experiment? I put a link in the, so people can do that. Anyone who has done the experiment, be sure and pop in and let us know what happened.
Sure.
Did you have any interesting help go on, or interesting things go on, Denise, or do you want me to share mine, or?
Well, share yours. Yeah, sure. I'll tell it. Yeah, I mean, I said a lot of them last time, and I've only had mine got disrupted after the 4th of July because it was so around here. People go insane with the firecrackers and the fireworks, and it's like just really crazy. So that I couldn't really do it for a few days, and then I started doing it again, and I got some interesting information, but and one sort of like pillar of light kind of thing, but it was more mellow this week than it was like a couple of weeks before. Yeah.
Okay. So fortunately, I write these down because otherwise I am not, it's like yesterday seems like 4 years. And when I say what I get, I want people here to know that this is not psychic prediction. I am just reporting and observing what goes on. So take it, leave it. But it is quite interesting. So I left you guys off with Cocapelli, that I had seen that. And then all of these cats like showing up and like talking to me and in a circle. Well, that plays into as we go on. So the next thing, after that, nothing really came through.
Right.
And then the next one, all I did was I was like in all kinds of turquoise light. I don't know what that means or anything, but it was just this brilliant turquoise color after I went through this. both what we're talking about and other people that are new, Denise has an experiment that we've been doing called consciousness throwing. So it's like you go outside and you just like kind of scry into the stars and the sky and move beyond into these different spiritual planes that we talked about at the beginning of the show, and then just see what happens from that. Oh, okay. Somebody had something here. Cece.
Yes,
Cool.
Sissy, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so people listening later, what she says was, at night I saw white swirls that moved away. Daytime it was dancing yellow starlight dots. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I've seen similar things. Yeah.
So then the next night really threw me, and I sent you guys an email about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I go out, I'm like vegging out as usual, the circle of cats come, and then all of a sudden the cats like wake me up. And they go like, you know how cats, when they're like scared and spooked, they all just go, psh, and they're looking down the alley. And so I looked down the alley to the east, and I saw this. What came to mind was elemental spirit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was like this huge, like probably 8-10 feet tall, probably at least 3 feet around, maybe bigger than that. And it was black, but it was like bipedal. And it was like this thing that was like going down the alley headed towards the west. And when I saw it, I was just kind of like, whoa, I don't think I want to be, and it to see me or anything. So I went back in the house, and I literally could hear like things like crashing and stuff outside, like there was a wind or something, like garbage and stuff blowing around. Anyway, I went back in, and then the lights went off. Then they went back on again. Then they went off again. Then they went back on. I'm like, oh, great. This wasn't quite like a brownout, but it was weird, because it was like abrupt, off, on. And so I'm sitting in my kitchen thinking, that was kind of strange. What was that? And I got elemental in my head. Well, then all of a sudden, everything went black. And about a minute after that, you could hear sirens and everything. So in the direction where it went west, probably about 3 or 4 blocks west of me, an electric transformer blew up and caught on fire.
Wow.
And the people in the neighborhood went running outside, and they were getting this fire out. And somebody called the fire, and so they got this fire out. Now, this was earlier than when I usually do it. I usually do it at like 10:30 because there's no foot traffic then. But this was at 8 because I was so tired. And so anyway, at least it happened at 8 at night when people were awake to see this fire, because it's been so dry out here. It could have wiped out half the town.
Yeah,
and so anyway, I didn't know that until I logged into Facebook to see if other people's power was out. My neighbors was out, and that's where I found out that this thing had just blown up like that there was this fire. The fire department was called. And so it took like 4 or 5 hours until they could get the power back on again. So that was my email to you guys, was like, I don't think I pulled anything in. I think what happened was I was in such an altered state from the meditation that I could see the same thing that the cats could see, because animals see the kind of stuff.
That's right. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. I don't think you pulled it in either. It didn't have anything to do with you. I think you just witnessed what was actually caused that power failure that you wouldn't have known or seen had you not been in that kind of altered state of consciousness.
Okay, but what was that?
I think that was probably like she said, some kind of, well, here's the thing. I don't know what it is exactly. All I can tell you is I've seen, not that, but I have seen, like, right around the time that COVID started coming in, I saw little dark figures running and scurrying all around my neighborhood. And it was creepy. I mean, it was creepy. I have to admit, I was a little like, oh, this is weird. And it had that same kind of chaos kind of energy. I think it's some kind of a chaos kind of energy. And
Yeah.
they come in different forms. Like in the case of the pandemic, there were lots of them. In the case of something like this, it was a big event, and literally it comes as a big, like, visual thing that's coming down the street. I think sometimes people see the dark figures in their house and kind of represent that kind of chaos kind of energy that's sort of, I don't know if those are actually, I think there's a combination of things in the case when it shows up in people's houses, that maybe there's distress or anxiety or problems in the family. And then it brings this kind of, either it's some kind of manifestation of that, or those people's emotional energy draws this kind of chaotic being into the actual environment. But not everybody will see these things if they're not kind of attuned to that frequency, but they're around, you know what I mean? And I think it's just some kind of chaotic energy is all it is, really.
Yeah, and I think I had tapped, because I was in an altered state, probably parts of my brain lit up, like in the video,
Yes.
that I could see the same things that the cats did. So before I go on, other people have some results.
Yeah, I want to see.
Keep reading. Saw a little girl in a white dress running beneath a dogwood tree with white flowers. Saw smoke rolling across the vision over and over, with what appeared to be lightning on the backside. Let me finish her thing here. On the rolling smoke cloud, saw a bull snorting, not a real one. A stylized drawing of a bull snorting steam. I'm pretty sure that the dogwoods bloom in Taurus season.
They do. That's true. They do.
That's pretty, hers 3Ds in a way is sort of like mine, kind of, in that she's seeing like nature spirits or elemental kind of things, with that smoke going and whatever.
I wonder if, so you saw a little girl in a white dress running beneath a dogwood tree and white flowers, saw smoke rolling across the vision over and over. What appeared to be lightning on the backside. It almost seems like some kind of a spiritual message. I'm wondering if, like, the white dress running, so like a little girl, white dress, that's like innocence and purity, and then there's rolling smoke, and then the lightning is some kind of, unexpected event, and the smoke seems kind of like ominous, and then it happens, and then the dogwood being a symbol of a season, it almost seems like a premonition, like about next spring or something like that. Yeah.
Can I make an observation here?
Please.
Do you remember me telling you that I can't remember if it was last summer or the summer before, we were supposed to be having stuff going on in the sky. So I parked myself on a camping chair in the driveway for a couple of hours and just sort of vegetated, which is kind of your experiment, actually, because I was really focused on the sky. And didn't see anything, was a little bit disappointing. And then all of a sudden, there was this white thing, and that's triggered my memory. These couple of different people have mentioned wispy white things floating by.
Right.
That's exactly what I saw, but it was so three-dimensional. It was just above the rooftops. It wasn't up in the heavens. It wasn't the aurora.
Right.
It was just above the rooftops. And it just suddenly, there's this white thing, like Casper the Friendly Ghost, but without eyes, and it's going on. It was more like see-through, like muslin, not even muslin, like
transparent,
old white netting curtains, like that.
Yeah.
So it almost looked like someone had thrown one of those curtains up into the air, and it floated over the top of my neighbor's house, and it floated over my roof, and it floated on and just went on its way.
Was this at nighttime or was it during the daytime?
Nighttime, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And my husband saw it too. We both thought,
right.
What the hell was that?
Yeah. You know what? Now this is where my move on stuff comes in handy, because there was a sighting of a very similar thing that we did a investigation of here in Tennessee, where a woman was actually with her husband driving. They were driving home from somewhere, and she saw a very similar thing. She described it as snake-like, and it was like see-through. It was in the daytime, so it was kind of glowy but kind of transparent, and it was like doing this weird wave. And she was so freaked out about it because it was like a real thing, and it didn't make any sense. It looked like it was swimming, she said, through the air.
Yeah,
And it
it
sounds
looked like
similar.
it was swimming on a current of air.
Right. That's what this thing was.
Floating, but it
Mhm.
went up and down, you know.
Right.
It was seemed impervious to gravity. It
Right.
maintained kind of a an even elevation. It did
Yeah.
not light up. It was see-through. It looked like someone
Right.
threw a bridal veil.
That's
over the
kind of
sky.
what she described, but she saw it during the day, so it might have looked slightly different.
Yeah.
So what is that? And her same thing. It appeared. Her husband couldn't see it because he was driving,
Yeah.
and she was really reticent to even talk about it. She was so scared. She was, more conservative, and this kind of thing was not something that normal for her at all. You know what I mean? Like she was kind of scared by it.
Yeah.
And so she was. We had to kind of coax her to talk about it, and she was really scared of it. And for her, because she was probably Christian, she thought it was demonic or something like that. It's not.
Well, we weren't scared. We were pissed because we were trying to see the aurora, and we get this thing. What is this? Get out of the way. It was just annoying. But then we realized, wait a minute, what is that? Yeah, it was very weird. It wasn't a bird. It wasn't.
No. It's some kind of.
Yeah.
What this is? The way she seemed to think of it, and I think it sounds similar, is it was like almost like an organic thing, right?
Well, this actually looked like a fabric.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And here's the thing. I don't know if you've ever seen some of the stuff, because you might not have, because it's, again, sort of more MUFON related. Is there's a lot of stuff. If you look at video or film stuff from space, you'll see those things in. Sometimes and nobody really know. Now once they get found or discovered by NASA, they scrub it, but some people will download the stuff and keep it, and you can see these strange, almost like things, or like creatures or something.
Like, is it a life form? And
it might be some kind of bizarre. It might be some kind of plasma being or something like that.
And it looked like it knew where it was going.
Right. Exactly. Some kind of weird plasma being you saw.
Yeah. It wasn't scary. There was no weird energy. And I usually pick up on that kind of thing.
Right.
It was just like, this is very interesting, but this wasn't what we were interested in,
Mm-hmm.
And then the more we thought about it afterwards, we're like,
that was pretty weird.
What is it we just saw?
Right. Yeah.
But that was like that black thing I saw. I didn't have fear over it. It was just like, I don't want to be in its way, and I don't want it in my house. But Cece's question, I think, was interesting. Do you think that the collective brings that forward from fear or unknowing? Like these elements or the cloudy, smoky, any of that stuff.
What's the relationship, right?
Do they come and cause the fear and the chaos?
Right. That's the question. Is it the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We could control to some extent our emotions and maybe stave off that stuff. But if they're giving us the emotion, that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Well, I think it's kind of one of those things like where it's sort of a both ways kind of thing. If you're anxious and upset or depressed, you'll be more likely to encounter something like that.
And energy attracts them. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you do attract it, it's hard to get rid of it because it kind of feeds off of that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So there's a bunch of stuff here. Yeah. There's so much chaos right now. That's really true. And you know what?
She's right on.
I mean, I have to say that, like, I just feel like, a couple of the nights that I would go out and do the experiment, there was some really weird, kind of heavy energy and just so dark that I almost felt like I don't really want to do this right now. Like just this really kind of like heavy and creepy, like super creepy.
Yeah.
Like one night I felt like something was watching me and I was kind of like really freaked out and my dog was freaked out. You could feel something there that wasn't good.
Ribbon.
I've seen ribbon things. Yes, exactly.
That's a great term, Chris.
We're going to compare it to a sheet, a window covering, a see-through white window covering. It was broader than a ribbon. It was like a panel. Like a long rectangular panel, like a bridal veil. but
Huh.
it was
Interesting.
yeah.
It sounds similar to this other thing that was reported. And other people have reported things like that, swimming through the air, looking like it's some kind of organic life form, but it's like doesn't make any sense. I think it's maybe is some kind of plasma thing, and maybe it is related to the aurora borealis because the plasma from the sun that's what causes that.
Yeah, like stray plasma that's just
right. It's like, hey, I'm gonna take a fun trip to the Earth.
At first we thought that's what it looked like. It, depending on where you are and depending on the conditions, it can be really dramatic, very, very dramatic colors. Just you can't miss it, and very, very subtle. And what we can see is usually pretty subtle. And ambient light doesn't help. But if you look at the sky long enough, you realize, wait a minute, that strip of clouds has wavered and moved somewhere else.
Yes, right. And you can actually, if you take pictures of it, you can see it much more extremely in your photographs than you can. Because I was looking at those lights too, and you could kind of see it. It almost looked like a little glowy thing in the sky. You could see the pink and the green. But when I took pictures of it, it looked really dramatic in the photos, but it doesn't really look like that in real life. It's much more subtle.
Well, you begin to notice that the sky is almost striated with it.
Yes.
And then you go, well, I know what I'm looking at. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And FYI, that was one of my things I wanted to do before I died, so I can die happy now.
You cross it off your bucket list.
Was the only thing.
That's not very ambitious of you, Helen. You got to come up with some more things.
Or I'm very content.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. That's a good way to look at it. You got.
Keep on with mine, and people keep jumping in.
Oh, poor Deborah.
So, no, I'm glad
people are jumping. This is great. Yeah.
So, the next 2 nights, I did not do that. That heavy feeling like you were talking about, Denise. It was like, you know what? I just don't think I'm going to. And I had this fatigue like you would not believe. Yeah. I felt like my eyes had turned to jello and my arms weighed 600 pounds. I mean, I was so tired.
Yeah, things zapped you. Probably pulled your energy.
It drained
you. I was so drained. So, so anyway, a couple nights later, I go back outside. And it was quite cloudy out. And I thought, well, I'll just go with it. And then pretty soon I felt myself float through the clouds, and it felt really good, actually.
Nice.
It was like my skin actually felt hydrated. And then kind of gently came back, and all I got in my head was photosynthesis, that word.
Huh.
And that night, I dreamt about this guy that I had done some work for his ranch years and years ago, Mr. Duncan. And I used to call him remember Elmer Fudd from the cartoon?
Yes,
he looked just
I
like
do remember that.
Yeah. But the man was a genius, absolute genius. And he had figured out how to get rid of oil and toxic stuff out of water and kill these bark beetles that were killing with nematodes. And he goes, the reason you were in the clouds was because they do photosynthesis. And he talked like that in this weird, westerny, rowdy voice. And he goes, did you know photosynthesis occurs in clouds? And I'm like, no.
Wow.
And he goes, well, look it up, girl. And then I wake up and I'm like, okay, that was interesting. So I did. I looked it up, and it does. I did not know this.
Right.
And different kinds of microorganisms and fungus and stuff like that they are in the clouds. And scientists are looking at this, that it would be a way to help combat climate change because they...
Oh, dude, my book has that as the solution in my book.
Oh, how interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so and RB, he's died like 10, 15 years ago, but he was really into these natural solutions to solve big issues. And I was looking this up, and it was saying if there's too many of them, that could be, but these microorganisms that are in the clouds are extremely important for our climate and our whole ecosystem balance. And so when you guys were talking about the ribbons, that's what I was thinking about, was those microorganisms. Who knows what they're doing up there?
Well, don't they use microorganisms at sewage treatment plants?
Yes, some do. Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on the different types. So this is like a learning thing for me. I didn't know that. So then I thought, well, I can't wait to go out there again, right? Because this is addicting. If the energy is not heavy,
if it's good, it's addicting. Yes, totally.
And so then I go out, sit down, my little circle of cats come, and I thought, well, that's a new cat. Well, it was a skunk, and I thought, oh, hell no.
Skunks are great, as long as they don't.
So then I thought, well, I'll try one more time last night. So I opened the door, and there's like 2 skunks and a gaggle of cats all waiting for me, and it's like,
how cute!
They were like babies. They were cute. And I thought about taking a picture, but then I thought, what if it sprays me and I don't? Yeah, so I didn't do it last night, but I just said, give me a dream. And the same dream came back about this photosynthesis stuff.
Wow. And that's really wild. I can't believe that. But you know what skunks represent is reputation.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they represent, is your reputation preceding you. So it's interesting they would show up, after you've done this. So it's like the cats and the skunks are coming like, hey, we're getting ready for you. I don't know. That's so cute though. I love that. Oh, I like skunks, but I don't want to be, sprayed by them either.
Right. I like them too. They're kind of cute, they were baby ones. So they didn't have that real strong smell. The big ones kind of stink when they walk by, but these didn't have any smell. They were just like little baby ones. I thought they were kittens at first.
Well, be careful. Wow. Skunks, they carry rabies.
That's what she was saying. Yeah. It's weird that they're hanging out with the cats, though. That's odd.
It is. Really
weird.
And
that they're all convening for my meditation.
They like the energy. They like the energy. I have noticed that doing it, my cats are like on me, like glued to me. Like, they're normally following me around, but they're like, they will not. They just want to be on top of me as I've been doing this. It's just been intense.
Well, and cats are really attuned to that kind of, and like, if you sing, do they come help you clean your house?
I know, right? I know. Wouldn't that be great?
I'll tell you what, 3D, if you pay for travel expenses, I'll come clean your house because that's what I do.
There you go. I'm so weird when I clean mine. I was doing like, at 4 a.m, do it one room every morning. I got kind of sick of that, but what I do, I just love Mexican hot salsa music, and man, I get it done fast. I don't know why I like that music for house cleaning, but I do.
There was that comment that you just went through about somebody had one of those ribbon things coming
out. Yeah, that's right. I was just looking at that. One flew through my house. Chris said one flew through my house the day before the Loma Prieta earthquake.
Yeah, before
the one thing that broke was a jar of salsa carried in after the ribbon thing. It was benevolent, I think. Chris was saying.
Was that the San Francisco earthquake that the freeway collapsed?
Loma Prieta, yes, the big earthquake up there. That's interesting. So that's an interesting like correlation. I don't know if it's related. Maybe it is, but maybe it was sort of a protective. Again, it makes me think these ribbon beings are some kind of plasma beings or something. Yeah.
Well, but here we go once again, some small hint that metaphysics and physics we're really right. Yeah, there's something else going on behind what we can see. 89,
for sure.
That's right.
I mean, I always think about this is like, how ridiculous is it that we think that only what we see, feel, touch, hear, and is real? I mean, butterflies can see all kinds of colors that we can't see, iridescence, a whole other spectrum. Birds can. It felt protective, maybe angelic. Well, it could have been. Yeah. Well, maybe it was trying to protect.
What is an angel? Let's get metaphysical. What is an angel? Some sort of energetic being from another level of plasma.
You come in different forms.
The Hermetic principles, they talk about the different levels of energy the flow, the ebb and flow from the source, and it's all it is quantum physics. They're talking about the movement of plasma. I mean,
right. Well, we're nowhere near understanding probably as much as the ancients even knew. Probably,
I don't understand anything.
Yeah, probably. No, I mean not us personally. I just mean science is not even. It's just barely scratching the surface of things people talked about 10,000 years ago. You know what I mean?
And that's very humbling, because if
It is.
you don't have a strong grasp of physics, and then you find out that people with a good grasp of physics really don't know anything. Where does that leave me?
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, the more you know.
The older I get, the less I know. I tell you what. It's like...
Right. That's right.
Terrible.
It's really true. But that makes it interesting.
It's humbling.
Helen, did you have an experience doing the experiment?
Well, I sat out there. I only had one opportunity because it was raining and it was cloudy, and
You can do it when it's cloudy. I did it when it was cloudy.
Well,
doesn't matter
when it's cloudy. I'm not going to freeze to death. I went out there wrapped in a blanket.
You can do it in your house too. You can do it. You don't have to be outside if you don't want to be outside. Okay. You can do it. You can do it in your house if you're like you're not an outdoorsy person. It's just that outside for me, I like it because I feel like it's, especially at nighttime around here, it's totally quiet often. The couple times I couldn't do it, it was noisy and people were around, and you can do it in the house. It's just you just kind of look up at your ceiling and project yourself out.
3D braiding. She is so awesome. I did it in the house. Mosquitoes.
I don't blame her. Yeah.
I did it on my back deck, and I have clotheslines because I like to hang my laundry. So I did it between some towels and my husband's jeans.
That's funny.
I saw all kinds of things moving in the sky, but I don't think you want to hear about that. But
what do you mean? All kinds of things moving in the sky.
Jeans and towels.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yes.
No, it's never not, windy or
windy
raining or cloudy. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it in your house. You can do it kind of like if you just kind of lay down in your bed, just kind of project it onto the ceiling. It works too. You don't have to be outside. Yeah, try it. Yeah. But just make sure when you do it that you just kind of maybe do the golden bubble of protection beforehand, or just do some kind of like intention that is positive. The reason I do it outside too is because if something kind of weird comes, it's not in my house too. And just also I have so much protection around my house that I feel like sometimes it kind of makes it hard for anything to get in or out, even if it's positive. It's like, just wants to stay out of there. Yeah.
See, now I have the opposite problem. They all go somewhere else. They're just really not all that attracted to interact with me. I don't have these magnificent experiences that Deborah has. It's just mind blowing.
Maybe I just have a good imagination. No, but it actually is. It's very
here, guys. Boring.
It is. I actually really like it because just to be outside at night.
Yeah, I like it too. I love being outside at night.
It's very peaceful.
Yeah.
It just feels good. And, in the morning I usually do guided meditations, but this one you just kind of let it rip,
Yep. Let it happen.
And just see what happens. And it's very interesting. And so, whatever it is I'm experiencing or not.
Oh, she cut out.
I'm having internet fun.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah, it's out here. Okay, but you guys talk for a bit. I'm going to switch to a different thing.
Okay.
Oh, talk amongst yourselves. Discuss.
Well, I can tell. Did you know about this meditation, Bove, or did you try it? No, you didn't know about it. Yeah. Well, you should try it. Oh, yeah. We can't hear you for some reason. She unmuted herself, but it might be her headset is kind of not plugged in or something.
My headset. Hi, girls.
Hey, sweetheart. How you doing?
I was not aware of this meditation, but it sounds really interesting. This is the very first I'm hearing of ribbon people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ribbon beings, and that a photoplasma
Yeah, the plasma beings. Yeah, plasma is
Plasma
like,
being.
yeah.
Holy crap. Every time I play with you girls, something new and exciting is birthed.
Yeah, you got to be here.
My favorite part is we talk about it like it's nothing, you know.
I know. That's the fun part, yes.
Yeah, there was a big earthquake today. Ironically, I spent a lot of the day looking at this earthquake prediction thing. But there was a 7.3 earthquake, I think, in Alaska today.
There was? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think so. Let me look at my Quake app. And it was weird.
Maybe 3D, maybe depends on where you live.
Oh, wow. So are we?
Well, I saw there might
kind of
even be a
ionization.
tsunami in Alaska.
Yeah, that's right. Oh shoot, that's the wrong one. Quake app. Where are you? Yeah, there's a tsunami warning, and so for you, there might be a tsunami. Yeah, warning up the eastern coast. You know, the western coast. You know, anybody who lives up in the west
Long
coast.
Beach.
Yeah, there's a whole thing going on there. 7.3. It happened at 3:37. 7.3 in Alaska, and there's been a bunch of aftershocks. I was watching this guy. Somebody was telling me about him because you know, a lot of people are. So this guy was talking about that there had been a volcano eruption under this under the water that hadn't erupted in like thousands of years, and that it was potentially going to cause like this wave form that would cause an earthquake somewhere else. He wasn't sure where. He thought maybe it would be near Japan. It could be Alaska. Could even be Southern California. So he was right. He thought it would be a few days earlier, but he's close enough, right?
Well, there's a lot of tectonic activity going on.
That's what he was saying.
In Iceland. They've had these eruptions in Iceland. I think I read 7 in a month or something. I'm making numbers up, but they've had a huge. Yeah,
there's been a lot of volcanic activity lately. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, Summertime was saying we are currently in the solar maximus and just had a huge plasma injection from the sun today. It's headed for Earth. That is the reason why we are having earthquakes, volcanoes erupting, flooding, etc. I know that's a theory that kind of like solar flares cause these things. I mean, it's probably related. Moon cycles can also have something to do with it. There's lots of different things that cause the flooding thing. I don't think is related. I think that's just that's sort of a climate change thing. I mean, that was some that's been predicted, sort of hurricanes and stuff and the floodings. That this year, a lot of weather before NOAA was shut down. That was a prediction by weather forecasters that there's going to be a big season of flooding and hurricanes because it has something to do with there's a Gulf Stream. There's a Gulf Stream and there's all these different streams.
Yeah.
They're breaking down and starting to have change. And that I think is why they were predicting these massive changes in the weather in terms of hurricanes and potential flooding. The waters are so hot now. And there's much more water going up into the cloud. So that was based on that, prediction from the water's getting warmer. So it's not directly related, but certainly also cell phone problems are and internet stuff can be related to the solar flares and lighting issues and stuff like that too. Stuff that's more technological. It disrupts technology, which is the real problem for us. Is it can cause massive blackouts and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. We have had endless problems in the past couple of months with the telephones. You go to send a text.
Yes,
and
we've had that too.
And spins.
Yeah. Or I couldn't even call you back. Remember, we were talking and
that was
and it was like I tried you 17 times. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Just went nowhere. It was like really weird.
Or I'll be talking to one of my daughters and just suddenly it just goes dead. They're just dead there.
Yeah,
and say to me, I heard you, Mom. I was talking.
Right,
to you, Mom.
right. There's a lot of that going on lately. It's probably the solar flare and the high activity of the solar kind of stuff.
It's saved.
Or just bad, or just shitty cell towers. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure which one. So. Did you have any more experiences, Deborah, besides so you were talking about Well,
that was it. I had 2 skunks waiting for me last night, so that was it.
that's so sweet. Did have when I kind of started doing it again, I had I've seen this more than one time now. This big energy also there with frequencies. He
Who?
is big into energy healing. I don't know who he is. I didn't see the reference there. Yeah, I think maybe she say it earlier? I don't see
I
it.
missed it.
Yeah, maybe she thought she said who it was, but she didn't. Yeah, I've seen these pillars of light many times now, like shimmery pillars of light. Not necessarily like after I would do the meditation or throw my consciousness out, and then I'd be kind of like walking my dog back to the house, and they'd be sort of there's these shimmery pillars, kind of, and I would hear a name of an angel and see the color, and then I don't know if it's true, so I would Google the color. What is angels associated with this color, and it was always the right name. So I thought that was interesting. But I didn't get any information from these beings. It just sort of showed up.
Was it
And
a
I-
reassurance?
Those
that there's
pillars?
a presence?
Yeah, the
I've
pillars
worked
of
with
light.
the pillars before, and like when I lived in that horrible haunted house, I mean,
Mhm.
I called it Hell House. It was so awful, and these pillars came to help me, and I asked, and they would like swirl and just literally knock these spirits or whatever out of that place.
Wow.
And so then
The
one time I
angels.
was moving to a place in north of Phoenix called Cave Creek. And I had gone in there, and I had never seen a flying cockroach before. I was just about to move in. Oh my God, this damn thing is like coming.
no.
Hell no is right.
Running everywhere, and I hadn't even unpacked yet, except I had some like toiletries in the bathroom and cleaning stuff. So this thing is chasing me, and I'm screaming, and so I
Oh my
open
God.
underneath the kitchen cabinet. There was I had some oven cleaner, so I sprayed that. It's like gooped up with white oven cleaner, and it's still flying and chasing me.
Oh my
I'm
God.
screaming everything I can find. I'm just like really freaking out. So I run in the bathroom and I grab my hairspray. Psst, killed it.
Wow, your hairspray healed it, not the oven cleaner. That's
so- But anyway, I was like so freaked out because I'm like, oh God, I don't know if I want to live there. These things are like flying around. So I called upon those pillars again. This is such a mundane. They're probably like, oh yeah, this. So I just said, please, just go in there before I move in and clean out whatever bugs are in there. And I visualized them, and so they went. There were like 3 or 4 of them, and they went to the whole place, and they're like spinning and killing stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the person I was renting from called me the next morning, and she goes, I just want to thank you. You're so nice for getting an exterminator out here. I was going to do that before you moved in. It
Wow.
had killed like ants, roaches, anything that's icky was like dead, and they cleaned them up. So whatever these pillars are, that might be why you felt all right, because I think they're protective, whatever they are. I don't know what they are,
They're
but the
angels,
ones
I
I
think.
experienced
Yeah.
are very, very strong, and
They're
they just
clouds
like.
of DDT.
Yeah, really. In your case, they
But
might
it
have
got
been
rid of,
angels of
yeah, but
past.
it got rid of those spirits though too, in that hell house. Because
Right.
that one, I had an exorcist with the Church of England in there. I mean, that place was so horrible what went on. That
You
was like
can't
one of the.
get rid stuff like that. Sometimes you cannot get rid of stuff like that. It's just you can't. It's just not going to go away.
Yeah, these things would come in though and spin and at least knock them, keep them at bay until I moved.
Right. Right.
But when I
Right.
finally moved, I mean, that place was so haunted, and I would smell like I would get back from college real late at night, and I'd sit at my kitchen table to do homework, and I could smell like this death rose kind of smell.
Awful.
And I was like, oh my God, here it comes. And so one time I'm sitting there and I had I don't know what I was working on, but anyway, and then this drip, and this was a beautiful, fancy condo I lived in Dallas in a gated community, but we're talking like 60 units with only one person in one, who would scream all the time, and then me. It was so haunted in there.
Wow.
And so anyway,
I hope you had really cheap rent.
yeah, well, I left. And,
I don't blame you.
anyway,
Yeah,
what
sounds
happened? So this water came, and that smell was there, and so I was
Wow.
like, "Oh God!" And so I jumped back, and all of a sudden, this huge like thing of water came, like from maybe the unit upstairs or whatever, and it literally smashed through my ceilings, and it
Wow.
hit the table with such force that it split my kitchen table in half.
Oh my God.
And then it had like, there was like a foot of water in there. And this was like a beautiful, I mean, we're talking a beautiful condo. I had parquet floors. I mean, it was gorgeous. And so anyway, I called the landlord. I said, I cannot live in this place. And there was like this big, and she was so scared to go there because it killed her husband. I mean, that place was so scary.
Oh my God.
So,
Wait. Somebody killed their husband in there? Is that
yeah,
what you
these
said?
entities. Yes. And so
Wow.
she said, well, I'll send somebody to look. So this guy came over to look at the damage. He goes, oh, man. And he goes, it wasn't even raining last night. And I said, I know. But he could see all the water all over the place. And
Wow.
so we went up to the one upstairs, and he goes, it must have been
There's no
collecting
water.
up there. And then,
Nothing.
pitched stone dry up there.
Yeah.
Not
It
a
was.
problem with the roof, nothing, whatever this thing manifested. And so, so I just told the landlord, I said, I don't care how many months I have left on this lease. I am leaving here. I cannot stay in this place.
It's dangerous. Dangerous.
Oh,
Very
it's
dangerous.
horrible. I would
Yeah.
not wish a haunted. That's why, like ghost hunting and stuff, I don't think I could do it because I don't want that crap coming to my house. Go
Right. You
ahead.
don't want to get
I
tricked.
have a story. Deborah knows what I'm going to say. I'm going to read you guys a headline, okay?
Oh, yes, this is crazy.
Paranormal investigator dies on U.S. tour with allegedly haunted doll, Annabelle.
Oh my God. When did that
New
happen?
England Society.
Joe was like, no way.
We
Just want to hear about it. I don't hear it.
One of the Saturday night cosmic folks. Yep.
The New England Society for Psychic Research announced and it's in quotations, sudden death of Dan Rivera, 54, the organization's leader. They don't know what killed him.
I'm going to tell you, I have had ghosts try to kill me before.
Yep.
I have had that happen. I don't see any. Oh, there's Annabelle. Yeah, she's a Raggedy Ann. Yeah, she's Raggedy Ann.
These dolls.
Right above the doll. It's
Don't worry about it.
it.
Yeah, I know it's creepy.
I was on a Cave Creek before 1996. It was cool when I lived there, CC.
I went to
Okay.
Okay.
She lived.
Where's
I was
Cave
talking
Creek?
about.
Is that related to the same place where
It's-
you were?
It's north of Phoenix, and it used to be like an artsy cowboy place, and it was really cool. And then I left probably early 90s because there was just a lot of real rich people moving in, and it just took away the whole character. And then it got
something,
yucky.
Deborah?
What?
Can I ask you something? What's an artsy cowboy?
It was
I'm
like
serious.
full of art galleries and cowboy singers and poets. It was really cool.
Oh, okay.
It was a
Yeah.
really
I'm
cool
thinking
place.
art. I go with paintings.
The guy that wrote Flight to the Phoenix, that was some movie that was like popular in the, I don't know, early 70s, late 60s. He lived there, and he was in my writers group. So it was just like a really cool, real,
Artists live there.
I don't know, a cool
Western.
artist kind of place, but a Western sort of artist place.
Yeah, I mean, there's visual art that's all
That was
Western.
Annabelle the doll. We've covered Robert and
No,
Oh, it's
Annabelle.
Robert the doll. No, it's
Annabelle.
Annabelle.
Annabelle
Wow.
was the one that they're carting around that was in the Warrens' place, and they're trying to raise money because the place is about to get condemned, and so this was like locked up, and the Warrens are like, leave it in our museum. But that guy that used to have paranormal whatever in college, I forget his name, he had like some paranormal show with Pennsylvania State University, and he was friends with the Warrens, and so he and that group you mentioned, they're taking this doll all over and charging admission so that they can raise
You can
money,
get some money
trying
to
to
keep-
save the Warrens place.
And
Yeah.
is that the guy who died?
It sounds like it.
No, it's somebody in his group, but not the one that died. Brian,
Okay.
I can't
I
remember
see.
the guy's name. But
Would
know,
you go on
I
a
think that-
national tour with a haunted doll?
well,
Yeah.
these people are like saying, "Oh, it made this mansion catch on fire in Georgia."
right. Robert, no. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, who knows? Maybe. I don't know.
So
Yeah.
anyway, what were you going to say, Denise? We interrupted you.
I was going to say, no, I was just going to say that, I remember growing up, like having all kinds of weird activity, and my mom would be like, "Oh, it can't hurt you," but that's not true. I mean, it's not to scare people, but it can hurt you. You know what I mean? Those kinds of things can physically kind of cross the boundary and hurt you. They can, and people, you don't want to scare people, but shouldn't kill you, but they could, dolls and clowns freak me out. Same, especially clowns.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. I never liked dolls as a kid, and clowns, I can't stand them. I had heard somewhere that people that are freaked out by clowns have had alien encounters or possibly
Is that right?
abductions.
That makes sense. I've been
I
freaked
heard
out
that
by
from
It's
someone said that.
psychological. I did a whole thing on it. It's psychological, and it's based on your subconscious recognition that there's something wrong with that face.
Ah,
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I can't stand them.
I can't stand them either. They freak
A
me out.
different
really bad.
scary doll. There's more than one.
Well,
They're
you
different
tell us
scary
today-
A lot of
Tell
creepy
us
stuff
more.
too.
I mean, poor Bove hasn't been here for like 2 months because she's creeped out by the dolls. What do we talk about?
Of course, that's what happens.
Welcome back.
Yes, we haven't talked about it since you were here last, so of course it has to happen now. Yeah,
They're
Yeah.
attracted to you, Bo.
Actually, John Wayne had a ranch near here. The Hopi tribe bought it. It's I worked on the water rights there.
I think she's trying to say John Wayne Gacy, but she spelled Gacy wrong.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, the doll?
He was
Ooh.
from Chicago.
no, it's not a doll; it's a serial killer. But he used to make paintings of clowns.
Oh,
And he was a clown.
Okay.
He was a clown, and he used to
Okay.
make paintings of like the Seven Dwarfs and stuff like that. She said, "Yeah, right." So she that's the clown interface. He dressed as a clown.
Yes, he was
Yeah.
Oh,
Coco
God.
the clown or something for
Yeah.
children's parties.
Parties,
That's the guy
and
who
he was
I
a
would
serial
like,
killer.
you know?
Yeah, it's a really
God.
creepy combination.
Scary.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you ever saw a clown?
Yes, I did not like it.
I was in the grocery store with my mother. I was about 3. And we came around a corner and there was some lunatic in the middle of the grocery store dressed up like a clown. I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Yeah,
And
that's
and
good creepy,
figured out
man.
the words. It's like, oh my God, what is wrong with that person? And everybody goes, oh, it's a clown. Look at the clown. They want children to respond favorably.
Yeah,
and
I-
was horrified.
I don't think, do children even like clowns? I never really,
don't
I don't think
know.
so. They're creepy. About him, and they interviewed other clowns. Did you like clowns? Both? Oh, you're. I can't hear.
muted
again.
You're muted. Yeah, or you're not plugged in. I'm not sure which one.
Right now.
Yeah, good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
My mother liked clowns, and my father purchased various artworks,
Oh, my God.
paintings, and
Clown
lithographs. Yes, so they were all over the house
Oh,
when
my
we were growing up. But there was one that was a morph of 7 different clown
Oh, my
faces.
Oh,
It was the creepiest fucking thing. I had a boyfriend who, we were 18, and he's staring at this thing and he says, "Damn, it's like they're on acid." And it was. They were freaking creepy. My mother loved her clowns.
That's
So they don't bother me. It's the dolls.
The dolls are about
No.
What is it about the dolls that freak you out so much? Is it just
Oh, no. That Robert doll, that just is wrong. And this Annabelle doll, that ain't right neither.
No,
And I
you're
don't know
right. I agree with that.
who the hell else has these fucked up dolls. But you know what? I loved my dollies.
Yeah,
They slept with me. And they were safe, damn it.
right. And it's scary to think something so innocuous and sweet and that you love so much could turn into something so evil. That's probably what's scary about it, right?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you, Helen.
Oh,
Yeah.
the dolls that there's a line of dolls called real babies or something like
Yes,
that.
yes.
That look real, and people
Yeah.
pay a ton of money to get these things, and they carry them around.
They pretend like they're
the
real babies. They're for people
Yeah.
that are cuckoo. They say
Were they
safe or were they plotting your untimely demise, Flo?
I don't know, but it's time. It's time.
People are crazy.
Crap on your country. Go forth.
Oh my God.
There's this one woman who
That's
brought her
funny,
to the
Bo.
emergency room to resuscitate it. I'm not
Yeah, no,
Oh.
I know. No, those dolls are like. Here's my take on the dolls. There was this. We used to live in this apartment building for a little while, and there was this woman who told me her story about her cat. She had gotten the cat neutered, but it had had a bunch of litters before. It had like 20 litters or some crazy thing like that. She shouldn't have done that. You're not supposed to do that with a cat.
Was
like
it
that.
Catholic?
Yeah, it was Catholic. No, you're not supposed to do it after it has all these litters. You're not supposed to do this, and this is why. So what happened is the cat, would go, was sort of thought that she started getting kind of crazy, and she would every spring or whatever, a few months or whatever, she would go and find all these socks around the apartment, and she would put them in where she put her babies, and she would pretend to be nursing them and be like, and like this whole process. And she kept doing that. She just like lost her mind after, her mind, because she had so many litters of babies, and she was that was her thing, And so, I think of those babies, those like human babies that are people care. It's sort of like that. It's like people who kind of didn't get the thing, baby. They look real.
Whose baby is that, Helen?
That's a fake baby. That's a doll.
That's
a doll.
Reborn.
Yes. Looks real.
They're made for people who have some kind of issue with wanting a baby. They didn't have a baby. They're not for children. They're really expensive, and they're for people who have some kind of trauma related to having a child or wanting a child or not getting a child, or who have like some kind of mental health issue where they're kind of like, I don't know, like I said, like the cat thing, where they're kind of stuck in this weird loop or something. Yeah.
This woman brought this doll to the emergency room.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Those people are there.
Resuscitated.
I've heard stories where people bring those babies around in play groups with other children, and they will put them in like carriages and walk the neighborhood with the baked, and some of them even pretend to be pregnant first, and then people are like, come up to the thing, oh, let me see your baby, and they'll be like, oh yeah, her name is Bubba, and the person will be like, what the fuck, this is not a real baby. You don't know how to deal with it.
It's sad. It's really
very
sad.
It's very sad. Yes. Yeah.
Nope. It is sad, but it
is sad.
I've never heard of that before. That's interesting. But
it's
okay, but like that, there's got to be a strong transference of psychic energy to it. And so how I feel about like these dolls, so there's probably some of that, and then you get all these other people like, oh, it's haunted, and so everybody is like attaching like this psychic energy. Even like certain churches and stuff, you go inside, you can feel this energy, like even in the walls, you can feel it.
Right.
And I think that transference,
right,
that is shocking.
Well,
So
you know
do
what?
you
I'm
think
going to say, yeah, no, I
these
think the thing,
dolls?
it's not just dolls that are haunted, though. And this is the thing, you know,
It's
not
the
just
people.
dolls.
Mm.
People who collect antiques have to be careful because there are
Oh yeah. Yes.
euros and all kinds of things, rings. I one time was at a thrift store and I was like, oh, that's a pretty ring. I put it on. I was like, whoa! I could feel like this just really bad energy and I'd take it off. But there is stuff attached to all kinds of objects. And it's kind of like you're playing energetic lotto or lottery when you buy stuff that you don't know where it
Mhm.
comes from. And stuff can be haunted, you know, like objects can be haunted and create haunting situations in your house. And actually, like when I've done aura portraits before, I can tell if somebody has a haunted object by a specific symbol that shows up in their aura. It's like, get rid of that thing, you know, and usually I talk to them about it. Like, you need to get rid of this thing. And it's only happened a few times, and there were almost always people who collected antiques.
We're
Yeah.
now crossing over into some very illegal stuff. Here's a doll. Adelia, life-size 5-year-old.
Oh, that's weird.
How many 5-year-olds do you know that have that much eyeshadow on?
Well, John Benet Ramsey would have if she was 5 years old, but other than that, not a lot of.
Well, just wait till
other
they integrate AI into those.
Yeah, you know, I just heard about this grok thing where there's this weird secret side of grok that if you she's dressed like a little girl,
Yeah, I saw that too. Yes.
and you can have
Yeah.
like get really sexy with her. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know all the details, but
You know, I think that it depends on how people are using it. Now, I tried Grok recently just to see because I'm programming a bot that's going to answer water questions. So it's like you want to buy land in Arizona. This will tell you what to ask your attorney, all that kind of stuff. I have to say, Grok is very good with that kind of stuff. And it was the first time I've ever used it. But if people put stupid stuff in there, that's what they're gonna get. It's like that creepy girl anime. Yes, anime
Yeah.
companion is really gross. And it looks
It
like
is.
a 12-year-old or something. It's
Yeah,
really kind of
yeah.
creepy.
Yeah, it is
Can
creepy.
I ask you something? Grok is from a book. The term grok comes from the book Stranger in a Strange Land. And they
Yeah.
would say, I grok something, meaning I comprehend it.
Yeah, like you just like get it. Yes. Yeah.
What are you guys talking about?
We're talking about AI, grok, the AI.
AI.
Grok.
I've had the name.
That one
And no,
is
it's the
what's his
specific one. Elon
Elon
Musk.
Musk.
Yeah, his AI company, Grok.
I
They
didn't
call
know
it also
that.
Grok.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Oh.
That's probably why he
where
called it
somebody
that.
got it, and I'm sure it wasn't Elon Musk because I doubt he's read a book in his life. But that's where they got the name of it.
Maybe he read that particular one. You never know.
Robert
Maybe.
Heinlein. Yeah, Heinlein.
Well, that makes sense. He seems like he would read science fiction.
Yeah, science fiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, does anyone else have any consciousness throwing results to share with us, or? Because if not, Denise, if you're game for an astrologer question, I've got a couple for you.
Okay. All right.
Wait, here it is. Yeah, it's a common word. I've even heard Rachel Maddow say it, like grok or whatever.
Where have I been? I'm always the last one to know about any of this stuff.
Yeah, it's a cool.
Yeah.
All right, so
very popular.
I printed out.
Amongst intellectual hippies in the late 60s.
Uh-oh.
Okay, this is something that is being talked about quite a bit. My mother asked me about it. I have heard about it. Is like July 14th, which was a couple days ago, is supposed to be this time where there's massive energy shifts and letting go of things. And all right, and I've heard about it.
Yeah, I didn't. There was nothing special about that day. Well, so what it was, I think it was, maybe it was either 14th or 16th, but it was supposed to be so Jupiter returned to the same place it was at on 9/11. That's why people were talking about this.
Oh.
And I talked about this.
This was a different one. This was a different one that she was talking about, that if you work with it and get rid of your karma, you can start to take on better things like telepathy and advance spiritually. So she was telling me this is a time to like clear your baggage so you can advance. So I thought, well, okay, I'll look this up because I'd heard about it, but I didn't know much.
Okay.
And so what they were saying, and I know nothing about astrology. It
Okay.
says that this period could go on like for the rest of 2025, and that Neptune, Saturn, and Mercury all go retrograde, and some other kind of stuff about the outer planet. So that's why it's like I didn't know what any of that means.
Well, it really astrologically, there's a Saturn Neptune conjunction right now in Aries, and that's significant because it's for a number of reasons. Yeah, Mars is conjunct the South Node right now, and it will be. But the Saturn Neptune conjunction, it was conjunct in Pisces with a lot more planets surrounding it, and with the node in the spring. And that's how I knew that this was going to be a period where we're going to have a lot of trouble and darkness and all this crazy shit was going to happen. This period, like, I've looked at this period. Somebody asked me about it in the context of some kind of surprise event, like 9/11 was going to happen. I think it was
I
like,
read your Substack on that.
Yeah.
I think it may have been like one of your Saturday shows, and somebody had asked that.
Somebody asked me about it, and so I did some research on it, and I looked at it, and it's like there's really nothing that's special, I don't think, going on. There's a Jupiter's in Cancer. I mean, that's a good placement. Yes, it's a return to the same place it was at 9/11, but that's not really what that has nothing to do with why 9/11 happened. There's absolutely no reason that this is not connected to why 9/11 happened. It's just, it happens every 12 years, and it happened 12 years ago. It's nothing happened. Like 9/11. I didn't think that was going to be anything. And looking at the energy, it's like, looking at the outer planets, Pluto's in Aquarius, Neptune's in Aries, Uranus is in Gemini. So that the Pluto-Uranus trine is an opportunity to kind of have breakthroughs of thought and see things from a different perspective.
I think that's what she was talking about, because I had read a few things, and it was like, yeah, this is a time to really expand your consciousness because you can do that.
Yes.
So that's what she was talking about. And I thought, oh, well, that's kind of appropriate that we're doing this consciousness throwing, if this is true, that those opportunities are there astrologically.
And Neptune and Saturn are also making a sextile to both of them. So it's true that it's just the general vibe is sort of like people thinking about things differently, learning new things, experimenting, changing. But in terms of it being a karmic kind of thing, that would be that would be more of a Plutonian kind of thing. And that's Aquarius. That's an Aquarian thing. That's more of,
discard things that don't serve you. Like if you're being around negative people that really bring you down, it's time to maybe, cut that interaction back a bit. So
I would say that's always true. I say that's always true. I don't think there's anything special about now that would be related to that. The Neptune-Saturn transit conjunction makes it feel almost like a sort of similar thing as, well, it's sort of a leaderlessness kind of feeling, like who is leader, what's going on with our people that are in leadership roles. So
this has been going on since 2016?
No, it's going on. Neptune was in Pisces then, and that's the confusion, the delusion, the lying, the expansion of consciousness, people being more open to psychic stuff. But that did start right as Trump came into power, the Neptune and Pisces transit. It was a lot of misinformation, a lot of confusion, and we're coming out of that period. But now it's sort of a period of war and putting yourself out. And this is another reason I think we're going into this period where there's going to be, it's sextiling the Pluto and Aquarius, wars and things for the people's benefit. I mean, to some degree, and also just wars in general, because people, there was one astrologer who said that Neptune in Aries is about leaderlessness, which I think is there's an application for that too, like where people, you can't really trust your leaders, you don't know what they're doing. Hello, you know what I'm saying? But
I think we got the.
I mean, on a lot of and all over the world,
Yeah.
we don't know what Putin's
Well,
going to
that's
do.
even going on, like on a
Yeah.
state level, like our local kind of stuff that we're dealing with water or whatever. There's like a confusion and
Yes.
just over things that we used to be able to handle easily before, but sort of a divide over things that aren't even really political. It just is.
Yeah, and even the Saturn conjunction,
Yeah.
which rules laws, it's like, well, are these laws really going to be there? Are they still happening? And borders.
I'm not going to say who it is, but there's a Indian tribe here that received a massive settlement. And instead of, we're talking massive, millions and millions. It's not the ones I work with, the Navajo Hopi, not them. But anyway, now they're turning around and suing everybody that should have been in the settlement. And they're creating so much havoc, and people are very upset. I'm telling you, water is going to be the issue.
It is the issue.
Yeah.
And that's part of that Neptune Aries. Yeah.
And you cannot grow with the water. If you get too much water, you can't grow, or if you don't have enough, you can't. And so it's really a difficult, and people are reneging on settlements that have been approved by Congress and the tribes. And it's very alarming that this could be going on right now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I have a theory. I make fun of this, but I think that this is actually true. I make fun. I told you earlier, Deborah, that it drives me crazy, the performative hydration that goes on. People carrying around big colored cups, and everywhere you go, you're being given a bottle of water. And I think there's an understanding on a subconscious level amongst the population that water is becoming an issue. People are freaking out about just drinking water all day. It's so weird to me.
I think that's been going on for a long time, though. I remember people doing that in LA, like back in the 90s, and for 30 years. LA's a desert,
that
though.
I don't know.
Yeah. So maybe it's that.
Earlier,
because maybe it's just a desert climate. You're constantly parched. Yeah.
Exactly. But so I think maybe clarification, things like that during this time. But to me, it just struck me from what she said. It's like, well, this is probably just as good of a time as any to be doing this consciousness throwing. I'm going to keep doing it. And then if anything interesting shows up. And the thing is, like having to go back in, then it just like continues as a dream. I just throw out there, well, just give me a dream tonight about.
I have to tell you, that's one of my experiences, that doing this, a lot of times, if I ask for a dream related to it, I do get a dream clarifying. And like all kinds of information comes in the dream time. So I think there's something is responding back when you do it,
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what's cool about it. Yeah. And you can't, I find I can only, you do it for like a period of time. Sometimes it's better than other times. Sometimes it's more intense. Sometimes you just don't feel like it's the right vibe or whatever. So just do it whenever you can. And just, I think the more you do it, sometimes you can I kind of burned down on it a little bit for a couple of days, especially during the 4th of July and all the crazy, and then kind of doing it, when it feels right. I think the more you do it, the more you'll get out of it over time too, Yeah,
I think it's a wonderful practice to do. So, folks who are listening, I put the link, Denise's link, in the show description about how to do this so that they can find you and your video right away. And, because it's only like an 18-minute long video, but you tell people how to do
Explain
it in the video. Yeah. And it's a really cool thing. And if nothing else, just stress management. Unless black things are walking down the alley or whatever,
Or there's skunks on your porch.
Yes, skunks. I like skunks, though. They're so cute. But yeah, you don't really want them spraying you at all. Yeah.
Or walking in the house after me or something, because they were very friendly. They were little babies, and
Oh,
they got along with. They probably think they're cats.
they probably do think they're
They were
cats. I'm
hanging out.
wondering, do you think that maybe one of the cats is raising them because the mom is gone or something like that?
It could be. It could very.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
It is really weird.
They were with some kittens, so the mother may have been raped. Maybe the mother skunk was killed, and the mother took
Yeah.
took them.
That
Their
happens.
faces look like cat faces. They look kind of like cats in a way.
Well, maybe the cat was just nannying for the skunk.
Yeah, that happens sometimes in nature where other animals will help babies like that. Yeah, that's sweet.
I have to tell you, we have deer here, a lot of deer.
Yes.
And across the street in the garden, there's a mother deer who leaves her identical twin babies where they're inside of my husband's got a little garden and vegetables, and they hide. She puts them under the squash leaves.
Oh,
so
wow.
they're almost undetectable, and they're these little tiny little spotted fawns.
Oh, cute. So cute. We saw
so
one playing around recently too. They're really cute. Yeah,
they're
super
so
cute.
sweet. Yeah,
They really are. Yeah, they're cute.
Well, did anyone have anything else or suggestions for our next show, or folks in the chat? Any questions or comments?
Well, I learned something today that I wanted to tell Denise. And Denise, you brought up the astrological foreboding about war.
Yeah.
So do you know who Rick Wilson is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I right before we did this, I was listening to Rick Wilson talking with a guy called Charlie Sykes, and I don't really know
I know. Yeah, he's a journalist.
Yeah. Okay. So they're old friends, I guess, old Republican friends, that have come to their senses, and they were trying to figure out what's coming of this Epstein stuff. And I guess Rick Wilson knows, the idiot in chief, very, 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 very well. So he said they were commenting that they're pretty worried because he's flailing about trying to get the narrative back on track to what he wants to talk about. Don't look at the guy behind the curtain, named Epstein, because that has nothing to do with me. They're afraid that and they know him well. They're afraid that he's going to do something
crazy,
drastic. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So just, extrapolate on your own. I'm sure you're capable of that, figuring out what I'm getting at.
Yeah. And who would it be aimed at, do they think?
They didn't even bother to speculate. They just think it's flailing about, that this would be something he might glom onto as a good idea. Yeah.
Right. So who knows what they don't know. They haven't speculated what.
New York City, they were joking. Said, Manhattan. That'd be the kind of, LA. Wherever Gavin.
I see what you're saying. It'd be more domestic kind of thing. Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, could be domestic. Yeah. Could be that, or could be getting us into a war somewhere, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. That's kind of what they were implying. Yeah.
Right.
This would be the energy, is what you're saying.
Unless something else weird comes up, I think next show will be on haunted objects, and in honor of our beautiful, wonderful friend Bove. Yes, we're going to do a show just about dolls for you. And throw in some clowns.
Mommy! Mommy! I want my mommy!
Oh my God.
So you have to come in because it's you make it funny.
Yeah, it was fun.
So funny.
Unless something else comes up, that's next week's show. So, but I want to thank you guys, huh?
Somebody had a question about the Mars conjunct South Node, and generally with that, it's in Virgo, and that just is about kind of, that could be, Virgo rules food, it rules work, and it rules employees. It also rules health and the healthcare system. And that Mars conjunction is a malefic. So that's some kind of crisis or problem with those different things, which is happening actually already. So it's not really, Yeah.
The front page of the Arizona Republic today was just like, I mean, everybody, both sides of the aisle are just livid over these tariffs because it's
Yes.
going to just destroy the tomato industry here.
It's going to create
And
problems with people
Mexico
getting
had
food.
invested so much. I mean, there's a huge trade that goes back and forth, you know.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
anyway, that was the front page of the Republic today. Is like, this is going to destroy Arizona's economy, you know. And
Yeah.
they're already food sitting around and rotting. And then on top of that, you throw in like these heavy rains or drought or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
That's
It's really
food
bad.
supply.
Yeah.
And then
Food you oh, sorry.
I saw something, not the plague, because the plague, somebody died of the plague in,
Right.
you know,
But
in
the bubonic
but
plague.
then it
Right.
appears just like hantavirus. It's just something that kind of.
Was
But
in
I
the book.
saw something. Denise, I'm going to have to find this and send it to you because there was something in one of the. Because I read so much egg stuff.
Right.
Some kind of like a weird, almost ringwormy kind of thing that they're. I'm going to have to send this to you so you see what
Wow.
it'll take me a
Yeah.
bit to find it. So
Yeah, please do. I'm curious about that.
yeah, but anyway, there's some kind of new thing and going around in the egg industry, you know. And then they were saying stuff like food. If you're going to have problems like the chicken stuff, like the largest chicken and egg company in Arizona is called Hickman Farms, and they've been around since like 1920 or is it 1920, Bob? 1937, somewhere around there. They're really big,
100 years
and
old.
they had to kill all the chickens because there's so much of that chicken flu.
Wow.
Ruthann,
Well, that's going to
I
stop.
congestive heart
Yes.
failure.
But that's going to
He's-
stop, though. Trump.
It's not well.
Well, that's what everyone says. I think of that as wish fulfillment myself. But anyway,
Oh, no, Denise. There are photographs of him sitting on a dais, and they focused in on his feet. His ankles are spilling over his shoes. They couldn't.
yeah, he might have edema. Well, not necessarily. You can have edema without that. That's not
unless you
necessarily.
live on McDonald's.
You know, if he had congestive heart failure, he has the best access to medical, and congestive heart failure,
Wow.
people have it, and there's medicine and other things. I don't think yeah, he's not well. He's not well mentally or physically, but I mean, I know people who have all kinds of health problems and are way worse than him, and they're
Don't
kicking
burst
on
our
for
bubble.
10, 15, 20 years or more. So it doesn't mean it. He's 80, so almost 80. He's going to have health problems. That's normal. It
But
doesn't
the
mean
self-node thing that you were talking about
Yeah.
in Virgo, that rules work too. If we see, because you saw my internet go down 2 or 3 times since we've had this show. So if you're going to have internet problems, whether it's solar, I mean, that has a huge effect on work and business also. But
I
even
think
worse.
like last fall, that one of the dream I had that was sort of a premonition about this period of time. It was all about food. It was grocery store. It was financial hardship. It was like I was in this tsunami of mud. I was stripped bare. I was in a coffin. So it was like everything was taken, and it was just one thing after the next. And then it was in this grocery store. And so I feel like it's mostly about our rights going away, our everything we know kind of dissipating or disappearing, and financial problems and food problems. So I think that's the vibe of this year, kind of, if that makes sense. I think that's going to be the big takeaway of this year, or what's going on. It's going to escalate to other things next year, but that's what I think this year is going to primarily be about. So the fall, I think I'm worried about what RFK Jr. is doing. He wants to eliminate the process of killing the chickens that have bird flu.
Yep.
And that would be
right.
Yeah, and the scientists are saying that will guarantee that we have a massive bird flu pandemic happening quickly.
Yeah.
So that's scary. And
well, even the farmers don't want that. I mean,
they don't.
Just call all the animals that are sick, and then bring they grow fast anyway, the chickens and stuff.
Yeah.
So why put yourself through that?
Right.
They can give them a month or 2 to recover.
Right, and also they're going to get sick growing if they are around
Exactly.
the
Yeah, they
you
don't
know.
want to do that either.
Yeah.
The big farms
Yeah.
don't. They don't want to just sick chickens all over. They don't want that.
Right, and they'll get themselves and their workers sick, and they could die. I mean, it's just it's insanity. But I hope they don't. That's our only hope, is that whatever he says, people won't go along with it. You know what I mean? They'll just do what's
No.
best.
Well, he's getting all his epidemiological advice from Roseanne Barr.
No,
Well, I'm
No.
joking, but I'm not joking. You know.
no,
what
I
mean?
know. I mean, no, because she's supposed to be
She's a lunatic too.
supposed to
Allegedly.
be-
Allegedly. Yeah.
very. I know someone who knows her, and that person said she was really. She does a lot of drugs too, and she's very cuckoo. Yeah, she's very off her rocker. That's scary. Yeah, that's scary. I mean, he's also he is so insane. I mean, that dude he is not right in the head. That dude. No more chicken McNuggets. Yeah. Well, you can get the fake kinds. There's some really good fake kind that taste just like the Morning Star and other ones. Have you ever tried that?
That's what I eat. I
Too.
do.
Those are tasty.
Yeah.
They're
not bad.
very good. The vegetarian are good.
Yeah, they are good.
So I want to thank you guys. I love seeing you as always, and my internet keeps going down, so
Yeah, you're fresh.
yeah. So I'm gonna hit end stream, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you again so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks everyone for being here.
Bye,
Thank
girls.
You,
Thank
guys.
you.
So much fun to
Thanks,
hear
Helen.
from you.
Love you guys.
We missed you.
Have a great week. All right.
Thanks so much for joining us. We love hearing your stories, so tell your friends so they can join the party. For show notes and our forum of high strangeness, visit cosmicfold.com. Remember, Cosmic Fold airs live on Wednesday and Saturday nights, so be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to know when we're on air. Thanks again and have a great evening.